This vignette was written and registered for copyright with the U.S. Library of Congress on February 20th, 2019. Frothing at Ben's. I haven't lived in New York City for decades. However, I cherish my biannual visits. At the moment of departure, I'm invariably contemplating the itinerary for return. My recent foray was no different. I slept the entire flight, then taxied to the Manhattan hotel where I lodge. Upon deplaning, I was famished. Once checked into my room, I didn't even unpack my belongings. Instead, just pondered where to consume the delectable cuisine the apple unfailingly offers. My hunger pangs insisted I go somewhere local, but that still left a dilemma with there being so many mouth-watering options in close proximity. Aha! Ben's Kosher Deli, 1 block away. It was convenient enough to quickly satiate my palate. Slamming the hotel room door behind me, I virtually leaped down the staircases back to the ground level and set out on a brisk walk to Ben's. Being wintertime, I was bundled up to the hilt. Though weekday rush hour, the typical bump-and-run experience traversing through Manhattan was no match for my grumbling and knotted intestines. Entering the eatery, I noticed all the tables occupied with other hungry patrons. Therefore, I swiftly turned left and headed directly towards the takeout window. Landsman counter people are long gone, except maybe for the glots, so seeing a rotund, middle-aged black man wearing the obligatory apron and hairnet didn't faze me in the least. I was ready for business, regardless who was doling out the grub. The deli man's first attempt asking what I wanted went unreceptive, though not because of malfeasance or misunderstanding his Jamaican patois. I was just enraptured at the cornucopia of scrumptious delights my eyes were witnessing behind the rectangular glass barriers they were positioned. My crammed-in stammer began. Hamina. I'd like a kasha knish. Deli man. Hot? Me. Yes. I already had my plan of action intact. I'd take the food out while heated, and upon returning to my accommodations would be the perfect temperature to ingest without having to wait for its cool down. Deli man. And what else? Me, while gazing and pacing. 2 potato latkes. Deli man. Hot? Me. Yes. Deli man. And what else? Me, not saying please or thank you. Noodlekugel. Deli man. Hot? Me. Yes. Deli man. Mister, are you okay? Me. Yeah, why? Deli man. You're frothing at the mouth. Here's some tissue. Instead of wiping the spume from my lips, I cleaned the outside of the window pane from vapor that had built up from my breath. Its condensation was preventing me from seeing clearly enough to choose my subsequent nutriments. Deli man. And what else? Me. A half-pound of pastrami, extra fat. Deli man. Hot? Me, with an exasperated look. Yes. The second deli man then beckoned for me to walk the few steps to where he was slicing the jerky. Deli man 2 was also Goy, a lanky, diminutive Puerto Rican with slick-back hair and thin goatee. As Deli man 2's hand rose up over the counter, I saw the small but succulent piece of beef he was waving. My eyes must have lit up like pinball machines as I wasted no time grabbing and gobbling it up. Now it was Deli man 2's turn to ask what was wrong. Me. Am I frothing again? Deli man 2. No, crying. I took the unused tissues and indifferently patted my eyes. Deli man 1 returned to the scene and in his repetitive yet inimitable way asked again, and what else? Me. 3 raspberry rugelach, not hot, and 2 sugar-free Dr. Browns, 1 cream, 1 black cherry. The deli man smirked. Me, I'm on a diet. The deli man handed me the bill, and I walked to the register and paid. Returning to the counter, I presented its receipt and tipped the chucksters a Finsky for their troubles. Emerging from his eminence, the deli man presented a rather large plastic bag with Ben's likeness and moniker on it. Within that bag was a paper one which contained the food, drink, condiments, and plastic silverware. I adjusted my ski hat, scarf, gloves, and embarked. Setting out at a vigorous and nimble pace, I realized the throng of commuters hadn't yet abated. I had to do more. Increasing my gait to a canter, I darted between passers-by in both directions. Still requiring increased alacrity, I cradled the bounty under my left shoulder and proceeded to clear the way with a stiffened right arm claiming anyone in its path. I was Brown, Sayers, and Peyton rolled into one. Onlookers and victims alike looked aghast at the brazenness of my navigation. I made it home unscathed. Though ready to sprint the 4 flights to my room, Providence had the elevator waiting. Entering my quarters, I immediately disrobed to my t-shirt, boxer briefs, and woolen socks. Clearing the table, I unpacked my plenitude and began devouring its spoils. Double-fisted and barreled, I alternated each item with metronome-like rhythm. My propriety degenerated into an unabashed gorging of ravenous veracity. Upon culmination, I emitted a protracted and thunderous belch. Looking at my t-shirt, I saw stains from the applesauce, dressing, and mustard. Gazing further down at my boxers, I saw a stain there too.